Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer here. Thank you so much for joining us for this very special Game Awards special.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
We're here today to choose our winners for the Game Awards. Nobody asked us, but when has that ever stopped us before? Without further ado, let me introduce my esteemed panel of genius gamers. Editor-in-Chief Stacy Henley is here. Hello, Stacy.
Hello.
We're joined today by not 3 kings, but just 2. Andrew King.
Andrew King is here. Hello.
And Jade King.
Jade is here too. No relation.
And no panel would be complete without George Foster.
Hello, hello.
So here's the plan. We're going to work our way through the Game Awards nominees, choosing our winner for each category. We will be skipping several categories. I'll let you know up front. We will not be doing any of the esports categories because we don't know. And you know what? You don't know either. Somebody told me that one of the best coaches didn't coach anything this year.
Yeah, he said he wanted to have his nomination redacted.
Yeah, even the jury, nobody knows. Nobody. Esports is important. We love
They
you.
Googled
esports,
coach before they filled in the Google Doc, and that's how it happened.
Right. We're also not going to be doing Content Creator of the Year because that is cringe.
Conflict of interest, we'll call it.
All right, let's jump right in. Here are your nominees for Best Adaptation: Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Twisted Metal.
Oh, well, it's Twisted Metal, right? For sure.
Okay, so did anybody watch Twisted Metal?
No. It is okay.
I watched that clip of them singing the thong song in the convenience store, and
Yeah, we all saw that.
I thought that was enough.
I watched the first episode for this because I took this very seriously. I'm not going to vote for it.
I saw the trailer and a clip of Sweet Tooth.
I heard a lot of good things about this, which surprised me. I did not watch it. I don't
that's
know
nice.
anyone who did watch it, but I did see people on the internet say that it was good.
We're not going to vote for it, though, right? I mean,
No, and I feel like I would have
No.
seen more clips if it was good. I feel like I would have seen
Yeah.
like vehicles smashing into each other, and I saw nothing. I never saw
Yeah,
anything.
like I didn't see a single car crash.
No.
I saw Anthony Mackie and Bojack plays Sweet Tooth, I think.
just the
Oh,
voice,
that's cool.
yeah.
Just the voice,
Uh,
okay.
Weird. I feel like George would have watched this.
Yeah, I did hear good things as well, but who has the time, right?
All right. Well,
Too much gaming.
we can skip to the end. This is obviously The Last of Us.
This
right?
is The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Castlevania, but it's The Last of Us.
Castlevania's cool. I don't think Mario's very good.
I don't hate Mario. I think the biggest embarrassment in this category is Five Nights at Freddy's, isn't there? How
Right.
can you not be up for
Yeah.
best gaming adaptation? There's so few of them.
Yeah.
Apparently it's bad though as well.
I've also seen that it is also bad.
That is great. And I don't know anyone who saw Gran Turismo either, but the reviews were
I saw
not
Gran
good.
Turismo as well. It was very good.
I saw the trailers like 10 million times because they wouldn't stop showing it in cinemas.
I didn't see it, but if he went from gamer to racer, that's all that I need. That's all they promised, and that's all I need.
It might be the movie for you. Let's move on. Congratulations to The Last of Us, a great television program, and super woke. And that's what we're really here to decide.
That's right. Surprise. That's what we're deciding, actually.
Woke Game of the Year.
Next category is Best Multiplayer. Our nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. You all know how I feel about Super Mario Bros. Wonder's multiplayer.
I think we all feel the same there.
It's better co-op than it is online. The online one we did was a disaster.
So only half of the multiplayer sucks, is what you're
Yes.
saying. Party Animals has several nominees. This is a game I didn't know existed. I guess that's a gap in my knowledge. Did anyone play some Party Animals?
I saw it at Gamescom. That's the extent of my knowledge of it.
Yeah.
It did not make me want to play it anymore, even though it's free.
It's okay. It's just Fall Guys, but not Fall Guys. It's just like
That's
Gang
not
of Beasts.
winning. That's not winning.
No.
Street Fighter seems weird for a multiplayer category. Obviously, it is multiplayer, but all fighting games are multiplayer games.
The online is very involved in Street Fighter. It is.
Yeah, like you've got the lobby system and stuff like that. It seems people took to it.
You
a
sit
lot.
at the arcade machines, don't you?
Yeah, that's one of the things you can do. But you can do like lots of it.
This seems like obviously Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know. I'm going to go to bat for Baldur's Gate a lot. I don't think the multiplayer is as good as
No.
anything else with it. I think Diablo in co-op is a better game.
I think Diablo as well.
I'm never gonna fight Diablo. I'm happy with that choice.
I think Diablo is best when you play with someone sitting next to you and you go through it, and I think Baldur's Gate is worst when you play it sitting next to you, both of you going through it at the same time.
I have only played Baldur's Gate with a friend because I find it very lonely to play by yourself, and I don't like controlling so many characters. It's overwhelming. Diablo's great, and I love Diablo. Moving on, best sports and racing. Our nominees are EA Sports FC 24, formerly FIFA, right, Stacey?
Yes, formerly FIFA.
F1 23, which I believe is Cars. Forza
Yes.
Motorsport, that's Cars. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, that's Cars, George.
Yeah.
And the Crew Motorsport, also Cars. Stacey, help us out with this one, our resident sports expert.
EAFC is probably my favourite game on the list just because it's either football or cars, and I prefer football. But I don't think this... I was expecting them to have kept a lot back from FIFA 23, and EAFC was going to be a big reveal of all these new features going to be the next-gen FIFA. It's just kind of the same game. They've really doubled down on the Ultimate Team stuff.
Yeah.
The career and single-player things are still going to be neglected. I would say it's Forza. And you have to say
Yeah,
it
I
like
go
that
Forza.
for it to count as a vote. Forza.
Does it make sense to put football and car games in the same category?
They never have enough. They always used to do them
Yeah,
separately.
it's
but then-
it's pretty rare to have them like this though. Like in 2020, it was like Crash Team Racing. That was 2019, I think, and then in 2020 it was Tony Hawk. So they do usually have more variety when there's good sports games out. There just
Yeah.
aren't any.
George, you want to go to bat for Hot Wheels or?
No, I think
All
Stacey's
right.
probably on the money there.
Right. The council votes Forza Motorsport. Congratulations.
beep beep.
Hard fought win there. Next category, please. Best sim / strategy. Another mashup category. Our nominees are Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, Cities Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, Pikmin 4. Boy, this category blows.
Pikmin.
Is that?
Pikmin 4 is real good though.
These
Pikmin 4
are
is real
these are
good.
not bad games, but this does not represent this year's best sim / strategy games.
And
This is absurd.
The
Pikmin.
worst thing is, Eric, Marvel's Midnight Suns would qualify in this category.
Oh, you have to
This
remind
should be
me.
a cakewalk for Midnight Suns. It's not because it came out in December last year, so no one nominated. But this,
Right.
Suns should have this wrapped up. This is an awful category.
When Midnight Suns came out last year, we all loved it. We all said, this better not get left off the Game Awards. I think Stacey wrote a whole article about it, and
Yep.
of course it did. It's very disappointing because, yes, this would have been a dead ringer for this and several other categories, if you ask me. But here's what we got. How Age of Wonders 4 didn't make this list baffles me. There were plenty of RTS and strategy games that came out this year that qualify a lot more
Total
than
Warfare, I
Pikmin
thought would have been on here.
and Advance Wars. Like, what? How out of touch are we? But this is what we have to
No
work
taste,
with.
Eric.
Who has a strong feeling here?
Fire Emblem Engage is on my Game of the Year list, but I don't
Okay.
think it's necessarily phenomenal. I think it's got the best gameplay Fire Emblem's had in any of the entries that I've played. But the social side of stuff means it's nowhere near as good as Three Houses. But in this field, I have no problem saying I think this should be Fire Emblem.
Also, it's the only one on this list that is both simulation and strategy because of all the smooching.
It's sim / again.
Yes, I think Fire Emblem's problem is just that it's not as beloved as Three Houses.
No, nowhere near. It doesn't deserve to be.
Yeah. But still good. Advance Wars was fun. It was also fun 25 years ago, and it's the exact same game. City Skylines creeps me out. We we can talk about that in a different video. Company Hero is good. Pikmin good, but weird choice for this guy. I'm happy with Fire Emblem. Any objections?
No, seems to make sense.
Great. We're on a roll.
Pikmin.
Easy choices so far. Congratulations, Fire Emblem Engage. And Andrew just screams Pikmin at the end. Hey, here's your chance. Best family game.
Pikmin.
5 nominees: Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This might be the first one we maybe dig our heels in a little bit, because I think Disney Illusion Island is so much more charming than every other game in this category.
Yeah, I agree with Eric. I think Illusion Island takes it for me.
I had Disney as my second choice. Actually, I'm not going to fight that too hard. I think it should be Mario. Mario's up for Game of the Year. It's a great game. I'm not going to pass up the chance to say this should be Mario, but I won't fight Disney.
Yeah.
It will be Mario in the way that Pixar movies always win the Oscar for Best Animated, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
But Illusion
Not this
Island
year.
is the Koba and 2 strings of this category. I'll never get over it. I'll never get over when Zootopia stole the award from Kubo and the 2 strings. But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss the best family game. Andrew, what do you say?
I say Pikmin. It's nominated, right?
In what way is single-player Pikmin 4 the best family game? Are you playing this with your family?
I think it is a low-stakes way to teach kids about death, because the
Jesus.
Pikmin can get massacred by a monster, and then you can rewind and save them all. So I think, it teaches kids about death, but in a way that's got some training wheels on it. Plus, it's just a real good game, and I'd never played any of the Pikmin games before, and I got real into this one.
I don't find that a compelling argument at all.
Maybe it'll win in the lessons about death category.
Oh yeah, that's the one I'm bringing. That's our extra category.
I don't think we need a tiebreaker here, but Jay, do you want to weigh in?
Pikmin.
No! Now we do need a tiebreaker.
I'll switch to Disney. We've got 3 Disneys.
All right.
But I would be fine with Disney.
Congratulations, Disney Illusion Island. A fantastic game. I heard it won a Game of the Year award in some publication or at some organization.
I wouldn't go that far. I liked it, but I would not go that far.
No, me neither. But it's pretty fun.
That was strange.
Yeah,
It is good.
Good fan.
Peppered in throughout our real nominees, we will also be introducing our own categories this year, which I'm very excited about. Each of our panelists has brought their own made-up Game Awards category for us to discuss. I'd like George to present his first, because I'm most worried about what he has for us.
Well, mine is one that people have been fighting to be in the Game Awards for a while now. Best DLC/expansion.
Okay.
Seems like an obvious one, right? Like I don't know why that's not been introduced yet.
Yeah, sure. What do we got?
Okay, so correct me if I've missed anything that's like a massive, glaring omission on my part. But for the nominees here, I've got Resident Evil 4 Remake Separate Ways DLC, Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk 2077, Burning Shores for Horizon Forbidden West, Shredder's Revenge Dimension Shell Shock for TMNT, and then maybe it's my own little pick, but Rayman for Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Okay.
Magic. I love that.
Strong choices. We just had Remnant 2's DLC, but probably that's not big enough to qualify. I thought it was quite good.
That goes over
The
my head a
Awakened
little bit.
King. But fair enough. Cool. I think that if this was put to a vote in the way that the Game Awards is done, that Cyberpunk would probably run away with this one.
I mean, Cyberpunk's up for players' voice.
Separate Ways, Resident Evil 4 Remakes one.
Oh, that would be my choice for sure.
Yeah.
I love Separate Ways.
Cyberpunk would definitely win the overall.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk would win, but you know what? We're deciding, not the
We are.
people.
I'm going to vote Cyberpunk anyway.
Yeah, I'm for Cyberpunk.
Okay, so it was Separate Ways for an Eric then, with a good taste game.
Congratulations.
I love Separate Ways as well.
Cyberpunk. It's Cyberpunk's year to win all the awards it didn't get to win last year. Or 2 years. Or 3 years. How long ago did that game come out?
It was nominated in 2020 and in 2021. It wasn't nominated in 22, and it's nominated again in 23.
Right.
One of the longest runs a single player game must have to just keep appearing at the Game Awards.
All right, jumping back into official categories. Our next one is Best Fighting.
Ooh, easy.
Best Fighting, 5 nominees. God of Rock, a game I've never heard of. Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. George, please contain yourself. Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6.
Well, it's Street Fighter. Look, I like a few of these games on the list, quite a lot, but it's Street Fighter 6 by a country mile. It's one of the best fighting games ever.
Yeah, was there not a Tekken? I feel like we previewed Tekken like 6 months ago.
It's out in January.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be Tekken versus Multiverses at the Game Awards next year.
You know what I'm going for.
And I also wasn't aware that All-Star Brawl 2 already came out.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
pretty close. That's late November or
Yeah.
maybe early November.
They need to get in because they know they're in for a win.
Right. Yeah, Street Fighter seemed like a bit of a phenomenon, even among Street Fighter games.
It's fantastic.
Pretty obvious winner here. Anybody want to push back on that?
No, I'm all
No,
for
it got a
Street
5-star,
Fighter.
didn't it, from us as well, Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Can't be
Yeah.
many fighting
I
games have gotten
adored
that
it.
before from us.
Right. Okay. Next category. Best RPG.
Ooh.
We've got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. Just Starfield.
You really could have stopped after the first one, couldn't you?
Or Starfield. Oh, got a rough ride this year.
I will just say before we do the vote, Final Fantasy 16 should not be here. It is.
It's a
barely
good
an
action game. It's not a good RPG. Yeah,
It is not an
no,
RPG.
I agree.
It is no more an RPG than God of War. In fact, God of War is much more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah,
The problem is they have best action adventure, and best action RPG. They can't have all three of those categories and not expect some crossover.
Yeah. I agree.
Baldur's Gate, right?
yeah, but
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, baby.
It is Baldur's Gate. This is Starfield's only nomination, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
That is
Still
crazy.
it's even out of player's voice as well.
Yeah, but it'll have a DLC and then it'll get nominated for 8 things. That's just how we're gonna do it now.
Right, we need its redemption arc. Yeah. I think like the thing about Starfield is that like I think it probably will have that redemption arc, but I think like the things that are flawed about that game or that people bounce off of about that game are not ever gonna change. I don't think in the same way that like I like what they did with Cyberpunk, but it never fixed like the issues that I had with it, like because it's you can't really, barring like releasing a new game, like
right.
in the same way that like Cyberpunk was never going to add interiors for a bunch of the buildings that are just shells that you walk by. I don't think Starfield's ever going to put all of its stuff in one contiguous open world. So it's like, how are they ever going to really redeem what is wrong with that game?
Agreed. Shout out to Sea of Stars. I think we'll see that again on this list in
yeah,
one of the
that's
indie categories.
That's
Yeah.
a special game, but it's not going to beat out Baldur's Gate.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that might have been the indie game that got the Game of the Year nomination. There's not this year. There's just 6 AAAs.
Yeah.
But usually there's
Yeah.
one indie that sneaks in there. I thought that might have been the indie.
It might be that one, yeah. I agree. And then Lies of P, this is a game people are still talking about. That surprises me.
It's real good. It's more action than RPG though. I suppose it's RPG in the way all of the From Software games are, like
Right.
leveling up,
Right.
exploring, making your own character, who's just Timothy Chalamet Pinocchio.
Right. That's where it fits into my made-up category as best game with Timothy Chalamet as the lead. So look out for it there.
Is this not just off-brand FromSoft though?
It is, but it's bloody good off-brand.
Yeah, I mean,
From
FromSoft are pretty good, though, if you're going to be off-brand anything.
I guess so.
Not that many versions of these types of games.
Yeah. I guess there's some pretty good games that are just off-brand GTA.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations once again to Baldur's Gate. Or is that the first? No, that's our. No, that is our first Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate.
first didn't win multiplayer.
First win for Baldur's Gate. Best RPG. Congratulations. Let's get into Best Action Adventure.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. A lot of crowd pleasers in this category. We've got Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi 2 Survivor, and The Legend of Zelda 17 Tears of the Kingdom.
Legend of Zelda 17!
Andrew thinks he can just scream his choice, and that's an argument.
It's working out well so far, baby.
Let's point out that Jedi Survivor is not up for many awards. This is one of.
Doesn't mean it should get this one.
It's not going to get this one either.
No,
but it's not up for much. I know George would be happy, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be my vote here, but Karen Monahan, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Very happy.
The action adventure label makes me really focus in on just two games here: Spider-Man and Tears of the Kingdom.
Spider-Man 2 would be my vote there.
I agree, other than the fact that if the rest of these RPGs are RPGs, then Zelda's an RPG.
Oh, so, Zelda's absolutely an RPG.
So if Spider-Man wins by default.
That logic makes no sense. Yeah, it's as RPG as Lights of P.
It's just a win by Spider-Man.
I say we give it to Resident Evil 4, sort of to, just to switch things up a little bit, right?
Just to be wacky?
Yeah, be a little wacky. It's my runner-up after Tears of the Kingdom. Would be RE4 here.
I think RE4 is probably the best game out of these, in my opinion, but Spider-Man 2 fits action-adventure more than Resi 4 does.
Do you really think Resi is the best of these? That surprises me.
Yeah, I loved Resi
I think you're my little spider buddy.
Spider-Man 2 is fantastic as well, but gotta go where my heart is.
Spider-Man 2 is great, and I still haven't finished it because it crashes at least once an hour when I play it, so I have been waiting for them to hopefully patch that before
Your
the
copy
end of
is
the year.
cursed. I don't think I had a single.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's truly cursed, yeah.
This is the first category I'm really torn on because
there's like three things I'd be happy one in.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a bad game in here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I don't like Zelda, it was well documented, but it's obviously a good game. I don't think this is the right category for it, but...
No, yeah, I think that is interesting because any other Zelda game would be an action-adventure, but not this one, and not Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
This is where they should split up action and adventure, because it would clear adventure.
They do. The next category is best action.
Oh,
They already do.
All right. We must choose, so I would like everyone to vote, starting with Andrew.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Great. Stacy?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Jade?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, baby.
George?
That's what I'm talking about.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and I'm the tiebreaker. My heart says Spider-Man.
Woo!
Spider-Man wins the Gamer's Best Action Adventure at the Game Awards.
No, that's not true. What you mean is officially, the Gamer thinks Spider-Man 2 is better than Tears of the Kingdom.
Not a chance. No, I'm not going to get into that.
All right.
Pure 8 out of 10.
Leaves the chat.
Before we get into the next category, let's explore another one of our made-up categories. Jade, would you like to present yours, please?
So, I made two, but I'm going to go for this one. The top 5 games I forgot came out this year.
Okay.
There's a selection
Oh,
here.
that's better than mine.
Great.
I think some of these are personal, but the first one is Forspoken, because I forgot that came out this year.
Yep.
The second one, Redfall, which I completely forgot until I saw your t-shirt, Eric.
Yeah.
And I went for Bayonetta Origins, so Razor and the Lost
Oh,
Legion.
yeah.
Oh, that's a great pick for this category.
Yeah, because I thought it was cool, but also I was looking stuff up and I thought, oh my god, that came out this year. And also The Last of Us Part 1 for PS5. Was that this year?
Jeez, that was that.
No, that was at the end of last year.
For PC, the PC.
Oh, for
was
PC,
this
for
year.
PC. Okay, yeah.
And then this one I'm sad about. I put Fire Emblem Engage because I
Yeah,
wanted it to be
yeah.
more memorable, but it wasn't.
Just a bunch of February, March games then. Just you went into a fugue state.
Yeah.
In the
I mean,
third month
there's
of the
no
year.
way Jeff will ever do most forgettable game.
My other one was top 5 games my parents would judge me for playing.
Let's
Crack on.
deliberate on the best. Is it the best forgotten game or the most forgotten game?
The top 5 games I forgot. So let's go most forgotten.
Well, it's not a
Ooh.
list. We're not going to rank them.
It's Bayonetta, for sure. I forgot that was this year.
Stacy reviewed Bayonetta, so I'm sure she did not forget.
No, but I reviewed a couple of the games on that list as well, so this category is a little bit loaded for me.
Yeah, I reviewed Redfall, which I can never forget.
Yes.
Because that was a harrowing experience.
I've forgotten what one of the games was, which is quite a win for it. There was Bayonetta, Redfall, Fire
Last of
Emblem.
Us PC.
The Last of that was the one I'd forgotten.
Forspoken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Last of Us PC, I forgot so hard that I corrected Jade about it coming out this year. So I think that
It is a port. I don't think we should all have to remember when every port released.
Well,
I know Last of
we
Us
shouldn't
is a
have
big
to
one.
as like a rule to do our jobs, but to vote for most forgettable game, it's probably a factor.
Fair enough.
I think I'm still on the Bayonetta train though, because when Jade said that, I was like, "That's a perfect forgettable game."
You convinced us of the wrong answer before reminding us of the right answer. Congratulations, Bayonetta something something, a game I forgot came out and can't remember the name either.
Lost Origins of.
It was all right.
Bayonetta Origins,
Cereza and the Lost Demon.
Cereza
boy.
and the Lost Demon. Yeah, that was it.
She's proper British.
All right, back to it then. Best action game. This is a fun category.
George's time to shine.
Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2. Everything in this category, other than Hi-Fi Rush, is only in this category.
Oh, this is a good category.
Is
Oh
Armored
my
Core not
God.
up for anything else?
And some of these are bangers. Yeah, Armored Core is a banger, and Remnant is also. I'm very happy to see it. I don't believe Remnant 1 got any nominations, even though I think that's the stronger of the two games. We don't have to get into that. Remnant 2 is great. George, you're about to explode if you don't get to talk about Hi-Fi Rush.
Well, Hi-Fi Rush is just magic in every way, but for the sake of Armored Core, also a fantastic game. So I hear, and that's only in this category.
You've lost a debate with nobody debating you. You have a Hi-Fi Rush tattoo. The point was just to say why you like the game.
Well, okay, well, I like Hi-Fi Rush for literally everything. I think it has fantastic combat, which is what this category is about.
I'm surprised that you were able to hold on to Hi-Fi Rush all year. That was a January game. You're usually a little more.
It's not left my mind.
What's new? Did you get a tattoo of Hi-Fi Rush?
I did. Do I have to show it off on this video?
I think for YouTube nudity reasons, you probably can't because it's like you have to take your shirt off.
Oh, well then no, you don't. Just if you DM George, he'll send you a pic.
It's true.
Nice.
It's over his heart because he loves Hi-Fi Rush just that much, and he took the opportunity to say Armored Core 6 is good too.
Look, Hi-Fi is nominated for quite a few things where I think it clears. Like, there's no argument for the other ones. So for this one, I'm willing to concede.
I think this is the category that's got the best chance, and I think you should just take the win.
Okay, Hi-Fi, fine, cool.
Yeah, I think you should probably take the win here.
I think Armored Core 6 is like the best feeling action game I've played this year, but I also just didn't play a ton of it because it's pretty hard, and I didn't end up making much time for it. And I finished Hi-Fi Rush, so I don't know how much that matters, but I think Hi-Fi Rush is real good, but Armored Core 6 is a better feeling action game in my opinion.
I think Hi-Fi. I can't believe I'm jumping to like counterpoint Hi-Fi here, but it takes a while to get going in the action side. Like it really, I've had a few people say they didn't start liking it until you get the counter, which is a few levels in, and I totally get that because it was the same for me. Until I got the counter, I was like, I love everything about this, but the combat's a little bit hard to get a hang of. And then once you get the counter, it's magic. But that's that's an hour or so of not as good combat.
Jade, you reviewed Dead Island 2. You want to say anything for that?
Dead Island 2 is way better than it had any right to be, I think. In terms of like its melee combat is very visceral and bloody and over the top, and it's satisfying but in a simple way. But I don't think I'd pick it out in this category. I think it would go to either Armored Core or Hi-Fi Rush from the games I play. But God, Armored Core just like nails that formula down to a T with like giving you freedom to customize, the combat feeling like instantly satisfying if you're switching up mechanics and trying to figure stuff out. But again, with Hi-Fi, I do think that combat comes alive with the counter, and it's a bit lacking without that.
Okay, we got to move on here. Are we all fine with Hi-Fi Rush then?
I think Hi-Fi Rush represents the gamer more than
great.
More than yeah.
The Hi-Fi Rush starring George Foster wins Best Action Game. For us,
So
next category. Best VR/AR. Our nominees are Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse. Quite a bleak year. I think that
like
VR...
3 of these are patches.
So right, so 2 of these are just the VR mode of another game. Synapse is like a 70. Like even critics didn't think it was that great. Did you review this, Stacey?
I did, yeah. I think I gave it a 3-star review.
Right.
Could be 3.5. Would be
Yeah.
up there in Jade's made-up category of forgettable games for me.
Yeah. You also reviewed Horizon Call of the Mountain and weren't overly impressed.
Yeah. I think that was a better game. It just, I felt, I know you did as well at the time, Eric, Sony launching this really expensive headset, they needed to come out with their Half-Life.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yep.
They came out with a game that was fine.
Right.
The best game here, my favorite game, is Humanity, but I didn't play any of it in VR. I have the VR headset, but I just played it in, normal with a controller. So I don't know. I think this is a poor category.
I think the jury has quite blown it this
It's a
year.
shame Midnight Suns didn't have a VR mode.
Wouldn't be nominated.
It's coming.
The Quest 3 launched this year, and while it's true that most of its heavy hitters are coming out later, Asgard's Wrath comes out next week, so it misses the cut here. Same with Assassin's Creed Nexus, I think came out too late, which is fantastic.
Arizona Sunrise as well, isn't it? The one that
Arizona
next year.
Sunshine 2, Lego Brick Tales. So unfortunately, the Quest 3 launched and its games did not. So I don't know if those will end up on your next year. This category is a bummer. I guess
it's very sad.
I guess I would have to choose Village just because it's cool. It's cool to play in VR. It's scarier in VR. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I don't even think Village is the best Resident Evil game by a long stretch.
No one does.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Village. My pick was Humanity, but Village was my second choice. I'm happy for it to be Village.
Village was mine, based off of nothing.
No one's too passionate. Congratulations, Resident Evil Village VR mode. Let's breeze through best mobile game here before we get into our next TG category. Our nominees are Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Honkai Star Rail, Monster Hunter Now, and Terra Nil. Sure, my thoughts. Monster Hunter Now, fantastic, but very poorly balanced. And many people I talked to bounced off really hard because it just scaled way beyond anything they could do and turned into this like really brutal grind fest. I think that's something that they need to work out because it's killing the game. Terra Nil is fantastic. We will talk about this one again in, I think, Games for Impact. I love Terra Nil. I know it launched on Netflix Games. I don't think of it as a mobile game because it also launched on PC the same day. But if it sneaks in here, I think that's fine. Everybody's obsessed with Honkai Star Rail, or at least they were when it came out.
Another game that I wouldn't associate with being a mobile game. Primarily.
This is Hoyoverse. Same studio behind that other giant mobile game. What is it called? Sorry.
Genshin
Impact.
Genshin,
yeah. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is only on Apple Arcade right now, so I have not experienced it. I believe it's much like Animal Crossing. And then Ever Crisis is bad. Sorry. It's bad. So I think I personally would say Terra Nil. I think that the consensus will be Honkai Star Rail just because it's very popular.
I had Terra Nil as my first, but I did have Honkai in second, and I've only played Monster Hunter, the other ones.
Terra Nil's fantastic. It's a great game, and it plays well on mobile too. I played on my phone, so good. Happy?
Yeah.
Fine with Terra Nil.
All right. Congratulations, Terra Nil.
Should have been in more categories, I think.
Will you share your category?
I have a few, I'm going to read mine out and we can decide which one we like best.
Sure.
So, there's always a little bit of a debate around Best Direction, which I know is one of the categories we're going to get to. But Best Direction specifically for the Game Awards is for actual game direction, not for kind of the development around it. So, from 2014 to 2015, I told you in some research, they had Best Developer, which was for the kind of stories around development. So I think that would be a good category. I also have best costume design, best horror, best level, best visual style, which is stolen straight from the Steam Awards, but I think is a cool one. And technical achievement. I feel like a lot of these nominees are here for the technical achievement, but there's nothing that really celebrates it. So something like that could siphon off. It looks good, it plays good from the categories itself. So pick your poison, really.
I like a lot of these. Yeah, I like direction. I like horror. I like technical achievement. Maybe we make time to do a couple of these. Can we? Let's start with best direction though.
So for best direction, I went for kind of the development around the game rather than the game direction, because we get to that in a second. So I've gone for Spider-Man 2. When we did Should Win Game of the Year, we discussed kind of the Insomniac cycle.
Yeah.
The idea that they were able to get so many big games out so well. Baldur's Gate 3, just the huge scope of it. I know they have investment from Tencent. They definitely should not be up for best indie, as they've kind of flirted with being. But I like that an independent studio's kind of done things their way and slowed things down. I have Pizza Tower in here. Really surprised it's not in more categories. I also have World of Horror, made by One Dentist and Microsoft Paint. I just think that's very obviously a cool game. That's also one of my nominees for best horror. And then I've gone for Cosmic Wheel, because I wanted to go for one of the developer games and kind of the story behind that and the way that was built with the different sorts of identities within the game. I thought it's the wokest game. I'm just gonna say it. It's the most woke, and that's why it gets points from me. And also I was kind of looking for a fifth one. I thought that fills a gap that I don't have represented here.
Okay. So I do the PAX conventions, I do the gaming conventions, and I get to meet a lot of these like solo developers that sometimes have bigger studios behind them, like Devolver, but I love those stories that's just like a guy made a game. So for me, it's World of Horror, because that game got a lot of juice. Like it was showing up at those conventions for like 4 years. They just kept featuring it. So that would be my choice. Who else has an opinion?
I also like those stories, but I have like written about Insomniac and the model that they're using and how I think it's like a healthy one for AAA games to start following. So I feel like it would be good to reward them here, because they're like they and like From Software are the only AAA studio that's still putting out games reliably every 2 years, and that to me is a model we should be trying to get back to, instead of these 11 years between sequels, or like with Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 6, how it's going to be 15 years between those two games, or at least, so I think Insomniac is sort of paving the way back to doing things that way.
Also a good point. Anyone else?
Those are two very good points, is all I'll say.
They were my two front runners, by the way. I didn't really pick a winner for my categories. I just kind of had the five to debate. They were my two at the front. I thought these are the two that represent why I want this category to exist.
I feel the same way Andrew does about Insomniac, until the moment that all the skeletons fall out of their closet, because they're a giant AAA studio. So
they did. If we want to not put a thumb on the scale, because it's true, but point people towards World of Horror, a satellite studio that works with Insomniac, does a lot of their work, to get laid off. We could have very easily done best layoff and had 12 different nominees, because there've been so many this year.
That too.
I don't think the dentist who made World of Horror on his own laid himself off. So by default, he wins.
I'm gonna push World of Horror then.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Great. That sounds good.
Congratulations, World of Horror.
And I like that games that haven't been nominated are winning our fake awards.
I like that too. Can we run through your best horror as well, and maybe later we'll get to that third one?
My nominees for best horror are Resident Evil 4, obviously.
Yes.
World of Horror. Slay the Princess.
Oh, yes.
Alan Wake 2, another obvious one. And Paranormasight, The Seven Mysteries of Honjo. I cut Dead Space, which I also think was pretty good, but I didn't want two remakes in there. I just didn't want them.
Dead Space would be my pick if it was there.
But it's not.
But it's not. But it's not, though.
Okay.
This is an incredible category.
Yeah, I don't know they could sustain this every year, but this year especially, there's so many great horror games.
Yeah.
Award shows traditionally overlook horror. Video games tend to be more experimental with horror than a lot of other mediums. So
Right.
I would like to see this become a thing. I think if they're going to do action, adventure, and RPG, they could afford in their genre, and that's the other than best shooter, which I just don't want to see. They could afford to add horror in the mix, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And there's some other bangers that you also couldn't make room for.
Dredge would be in there, up for a couple of the awards.
Yep. Yeah. I feel strongly about several games in this category. Obviously, Alan Wake is very high on my list. I defended it in our video for the Game of the Year winner.
Yeah.
I feel strongly about Alan Wake. I also, thanks to your recommendation, Stacey, played Slay the Princess, and it devastated me. That game bore a hole deep in my soul that has not been filled in and may never be filled in.
It's no Armored Core 6, though.
Yeah, I maybe have a lot of you got to play Slay the Princess?
It's on my list. It's
3 hours long, George, so I don't know what you're waiting for.
long list, Eric.
Make some
Very long
time.
list.
Make some time. This is a game that upset me quite a great deal. So although Alan Wake did scare me a lot, moment to moment, Slay the Princess may have ruined my life. So I'm gonna have to pick that as my choice.
I have not got far enough in Alan Wake 2 yet. That does scare me. I will say that Resi 4 was not scary in the slightest, so I'd probably edge towards that.
Right.
But again, I've heard really good things about Slay. I don't know enough about it to back it 100%. If that were to be what we vote for, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I have only played a little bit of Alan Wake 2, but I love Resident Evil 4. But Eric made a compelling case for Slay the Princess, so I'll have to vote for Paranormal Sight.
Paranormal Sight actually would be my first choice in this if I was going to pick. But I picked the nominees, so I love them all.
Well, somebody defend Paranormal Sight because I saw 40-hour anime visual novel and said pass.
So my favorite thing about Paranormal Sight is it plays with the idea of what a video game is. There's one ghost, and this is quite early on, so not really a spoiler. So the first time you kind of realize what the game is, it kills you just by screaming at you. It doesn't scream Pikmin 4, but it's something equally terrifying. And the way you are able to defeat the ghost is you have to go into the settings and mute the character voices so you can't hear them. So I like that it plays with those different. It has branching timelines, but not in a multiversal way. It's you have to experience your own death so that you can learn from it and cope in the future. The reason why I like it so much is because I also heard extremely long anime visual novel and was like, no, this is not for me. But because it came out in that sea of games with that nobody remembers, like Bayonetta Origins and Fire Emblem and all those February and March games, I ended up playing it. Really, really loved it. It was my game of the year for a very, very long time. Finished third on my list overall. I think the element of surprise, I know World of Horror also has that, but the element of surprise was a real big one for me. But that would also be a big argument for Slay the Princess, so I won't object to that.
Great, let's all vote. We can't get stuck in a category we've made up.
Despite it being third on my overall Game of the Year list of these nominees, I am going to go for Slay the Princess because I think it's most befitting of this category.
Jade?
No Dead Space, so Slay the Princess.
I'd go Slay the Princess.
Okay. I'm happy with that. Slay the Princess for Best Horror. Thank you, Stacey. Let's get back to our real categories. Our next one is Best Debut Indie Game. We have Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Vemba, and Viewfinder. These games are all so good. Every one of these games, I didn't love Vemba. I think it's cool, and I'm glad it exists in a sort of Games for Impact kind of way.
Yeah, I have. So I was going to mention Vemba in the Games for Impact thing.
Yeah. But the rest of these are super cool. I think Viewfinder impressed me the most. It is a bit gimmicky. I know that once you get it, you kind of get it for the whole game, but they execute. They really do.
That's interesting. That's bottom of my list. Are these?
That's bottom of your list?
Yeah. I mean, it's fine, but of these 5, I think this is a really strong category. Yeah, it's the bottom of my list.
I think Cocoon will win this, probably.
Yeah, I'd go with Cocoon.
That top.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm outvoted, but I will just say here that Pizza Tower is fantastic.
Yes, I also like Pizza Tower. I did not finish that one. I finished Viewfinder and Cocoon.
My problem with Pizza Finder is it's on PC and the sound stopped working for me, and I feel like the sound is a big part of the draw.
It is, and I said this, spoilers for my Game of the Year list, I guess, that if Pizza Tower was on any other console than PC, I probably would have put it higher on my list. But
I'm amazed all those Nintendo Directs that we've had, they've not been like, and Pizza Tower's out now. Just put it on Switch.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Super good.
I'm happy with Cocoon here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Cocoon's
I
phenomenal.
would be happy with that too.
Okay, cool. Cocoon, very good. We didn't talk much about it, but let's talk about it again in the next category. Best independent game. Should we allow the same game in both of these categories? I suppose so.
I think we should, but I don't like that when they do this in the actual Game Awards. They do them in an order where they just go, and it won both of them, and then they don't get to celebrate twice because it's a tiny little game most of the time.
Right.
Just let it have the moment.
Right. Best independent game, we have Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. Much controversy surrounding...
No Dave the Diver. No.
For its Nexon connection.
It's not an indie game.
Yeah.
It's not an indie game. And if it is an indie game, why is it not in debut? Because it's the first game Mint Rocket have made.
Pixels, though. Pixel art, though.
Yeah, you have to consider the pixels.
Pixels.
Indie is a state of mind. That's the thing you have to understand. Indie is just a state of mind.
Indie is a vibe. Sea of Stars.
Yeah, Sea of Stars I'd be happy with here, or Cocoon again.
I'm still on Cocoon's team for this, but I wouldn't object to Sea of Stars.
If Dave the Diver was not a Nexon game, would anybody choose it?
It still wouldn't be above Cocoon for me, no.
Yeah, me neither.
It's on my list.
That is a bit longer. We'll give you a break on that one. That's a bit longer than Slay the Princess.
Yeah, that one is very long. Okay, well, Sea of Stars is very long.
Yeah, it is.
They're all on the list. They're all on there.
But worth it.
I feel like Sea of Stars length is like one of the few strikes against it. But it's hard to. I reviewed that, so it's hard to suss out how much is this actually too long and how much is it I've been playing it nonstop for 40 hours. But it
right.
Yeah, but I definitely felt like it dragged a little bit towards the end.
Great.
So wait, what do we pick?
I said I vote Sea of Stars.
Yeah, Sea of Stars.
Okay. I go Cocoon.
I also go Cocoon. Jade splits the vote.
Jade?
Sea of Stars.
Oh, congratulations. Sea of Stars. Jade, the ultimate tiebreaker. Best community support. Bit of a strange category. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky.
I'm going to start off by saying that I have never seen more of a active community than Baldur's Gate 3. Almost to an annoying extent. The community there is...
No, so that's not what the award is, George. The award is not how active the community is.
Yeah, but it's a symptom of that.
Should I read it again? I didn't read any of them except this one, and you still don't know what it is.
Well, I'm still going for Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. So, to be clear, it's recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates patches. That's not from the players.
Yeah, but it's inclusive of that, I think.
Inclusive, but social media activity from the developers, their activity. Not ours.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
I do think games can cultivate a fan base. I do think that's a point worth making.
Yeah, and the developer plays a part in that by supporting them, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not. It's not.
I was wrong. I'm going to put my hand up. I'm wrong. Don't offend me.
All right.
I'm kind of torn on this one, because Destiny is the obvious one, right? With the TWABs and the constant updates, but
And the
they fired
layoffs.
everybody.
Then
I
they
don't want to
fired
give it to
everybody.
them. I don't know if I don't want to give it to them because the people who did that job should still get an award for doing a good job. But I don't want to
Right.
celebrate this game or like doing.
It is the funniest choice to give the award to a bunch of people that got laid off.
Yeah.
But you don't. They're not named. You give the award to Destiny. You give the award to Bungie.
Yes, but they would at least.
I know. I know. That's why I'm torn. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
I know what you mean. Final Fantasy's strange, I guess, just because the producers and directors and the Square Enix people behind it are very like
Yeah, they're doing live streams all the time and stuff like
They
that.
are very open, I think. Yeah.
they do fan fest and that kind of stuff. So like you feel like you know them.
I think, yeah.
And then No Man's Sky gets nonstop updates
Every year for this. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it's
No
just
Man's
always
Sky,
here.
Yeah. Cyberpunk, no. Obviously, no.
I don't say it for Cyberpunk. Sorry.
No. Baldur's Gate, I think, Sven, is it Sven Vinka?
Yeah.
He does all of those videos that coincide with the game updates, and that they throughout the whole early access thing, they were very transparent.
They do that. What's it called? Like Hell something? They do like that stream kind of thing.
Yeah, they are very community focused, so I can totally see why that's here.
Yeah, it's worth noting the game came out in August, which we're probably thinking of post support. That's when the big community really erupted. But
yeah,
that's most of this voting period was early access when they did have a lot of updates.
Yeah, like
It was
prior to
very,
that,
very
none of this
open.
1.0 stuff would have been possible if they didn't cultivate what came before.
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, exactly. The feedback that they got and the way they work with the community is what shaped Baldur's Gate 3 into the game that it is. So
Yeah.
Right. Plus, there's that one guy that always tweets about it that works on the game. I don't know his name. Shout out to that guy.
shout out to that guy that tweets about it.
He's called
yeah,
extremely
that's the one.
AFK on Twitter, even though he's never.
That's the
AFK.
one.
I think I talked myself into voting for Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Why is Cyberpunk here? Am I missing something?
Well, I mean, support for the game. They fixed it, right?
They fixed
the
the
game
game.
was broken at the start of the year. It's fixed now. Like
I get it. Okay,
I'm still going Destiny.
still going Destiny.
I'm going Baldur's Gate 3 because of the guy who tweets about it.
My heart has been broken by Destiny. I cannot, in good faith, give it an award.
Yep, that's fair. Very fair.
Yep. Yeah, I'm happy with Baldur's Gate 3. Destiny 2 is a tough one because I feel like most of what I hear from that is that it's not like the latest updates aren't as good and that things are being changed for the worse. So I kind of feel weird giving that the nod, but then I also got the category completely wrong, so maybe I can't have it.
Jade,
I'm gonna go BG3.
congratulations, Baldur's Gate 3 for best community support. Before we do the next one, I'd like to do my made-up category because we've started to spoil some of my choices.
Best Lorcana card of the year.
My category is best game that wasn't nominated for any awards at the Game Awards.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've got an idea. I've got a pitch for this.
All right, calm
It's
down.
Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Contain yourself. I did not put Midnight Suns on here, but I'm glad we talked about it already. So these are all games that have no nominations this year.
Okay.
Number 1, Assassin's Creed Mirage, the first
Shy.
Assassin's Creed game not anywhere on the list. Metroid Prime Remastered,
That's a good one.
Amnesia: The Bunker,
Yeah, it's good.
Talos Principle 2,
I like that.
Paranormal Sight, and Cassette Beasts.
No, wasn't that warm on that?
I did not put Midnight Suns because I thought that was just a me thing.
No, that's an us thing. That's an everybody thing.
Well, obviously Midnight Suns, but I didn't want to be too obvious. All of these games are 80 and above on Metacritic. Metroid Prime is in the 90s.
You know, there is one game I said above a Metacritic that didn't get nominated for any awards that you've missed out there, Eric.
What?
Well, see if the viewers can remember the.
Play the Princess.
Hogwarts.
Yes, but we're here to celebrate that Hogwarts wasn't nominated for any award, not give it an award.
Thumbs up.
So between these 6, Mirage, Prime, Bunker, Talos, Paranormal Sight, Cassette Beasts, any feelings?
Paranormal Sight's
I would
very
go
good.
for Paranormal Sight.
Not all at once, perhaps. Stacy?
I would go for Paranormal Sight. It's third on my overall Game of the Year list. I think there's some good nominees, but I think that to me is the standout surprise package of the year. I think I said when we did the horror list. That would be my pick out of these.
Andrew?
Bunker.
Jade?
I'd get Paranormal Sight. Amnesia the Bunker is great, but I think Paranormal Sight is like a genuine surprise of the year. It's one of those games where people go, oh, if there's something they haven't played this year, it's something I'll immediately recommend. Because it does what Stacey said, like, it subverts what a video game can be, and it plays into that in a lot of fascinating ways.
George?
Bunker.
Yeah!
2 Bunker.
High break.
2 Paranormal Sight. Well, I'm going Metroid Prime Remaster.
Whoa! So Midnight Suns then?
So congratulations, Marvel's Midnight Sun. No, I know it's just a remaster, but it could have been in sound design quite easily. Maybe some other categories.
They had Best Remaster in 2014.
I feel it was overlooked. We're splitting the vote and moving on. Because we just don't have the time. Best ongoing. Apex Legends. Cyberpunk 2077. Does anyone think that's fair?
Not at all.
me.
Not an ongoing game by any stretch of the imagination.
Nope. Final Fantasy 14. Fortnite. Genshin Impact. Destiny is not here, among others, but that's the first one that popped in my head.
Didn't have a great year, did it? Destiny aside from the layoffs.
Destiny? No, Lightfall came out this year. It's garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not garbage. I'm just mad. It's not very good.
It's not you, Destiny. It's me.
The expansions have been, or I'm sorry, the seasons have been good, but they're still just the seasons and they're getting old and it's time for something new. Actually, this current season is the last season. They're not doing seasons anymore. For good reasons. Not a great year for Destiny, unfortunately, overall.
Fortnite, however.
Fortnite.
Yeah,
Is it
the same.
Fortnite? Is Fortnite just the game of the century?
I love Fortnite. I'll
Zero irony. I love me some Fortnite.
I chug jug with you all the time. Love it.
I'm hitting the greedy on the daily. Like,
Yep.
I try to.
It's hard to deny the staying power.
It astounds me, especially with Chapter 5 having just launched. The amount they change every time, the stuff they put in. Like, I know this is IP man talking, but the collaborations and crossovers, I love it. I'm fully Fortnite pilled.
Every time I think I've switched off Fortnite, it does something, and I'm like, okay, I'm back in. Like, this season is like, oh, they're doing loads of cool shit again, and that keeps happening. And I think that's testament to this category. Like, it can keep reinventing itself.
I don't know if you know this, Eric, but Peter Griffin is in this game now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peter Griffin of Family Guy fame.
Is the big chicken in too, or just Peter Griffin?
Well, he does the bird is the word dance.
Wow. How exciting. Stacey, any thoughts here?
No, 0.
Great. Congratulations, Fortnite, for best ongoing.
Yeah. Hit the greedy.
Games for Impact.
Fortnite.
For thought-provoking games with a pro-social meaning. What does that mean? Pro-social meaning.
Whoa.
You can read my piece that it means nothing.
Means woke. Right. Your nominees are, boy, what a category. A Space for the Unbound. Chance of Sonar. Goodbye, Volcano High. How do you say this? Tichia.
It's
Terranil
in your throat.
and Venba. Oh, it's got a click in it? Wait, does it
Yeah.
actually have a click in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have some thoughts. I don't want to go first, though.
I don't mind going first.
Go ahead.
Goodbye Volcano High is one of my most anticipated games of the year, just because it looked kind of cool. It didn't live up to the incredibly lofty expectations I had of it, but what I really liked about it was just how unflinchingly sad it was. This is a game about dinosaurs at the end of the world, but it's not. It's about modern teenagers at the end of our world. Our world is destroying, decaying, and I like that it really captured the hopelessness of everything. I feel like a lot of games that end up in this category are quite cuddly in how they depict tragedy, a little bit like Pikmin in its depiction of death. You know, you just reverse things and nothing really matters. I liked that in Goodbye Volcano High. Everything was terrible, and it will always be, and you will die, and you may as well try to achieve something because you are going to die anyway. This planet is going to kill you. So I really, really loved Goodbye Volcano High. I think Venba has got the most conversation around it. Now, I think we can avoid the fact that we're all white. A lot of the people who love Venba were kind of people of color who connected through the culture of food. As somebody who, my father's a chef, so I understand the idea of connecting the generations through cooking. I just felt like this was a very simplistic interpretation of that. I may have been missing something because, as a white person who lives in England, my culture is the default culture. I understand that, but I just didn't feel like it had the power to reach across the generations. And I've heard other people say, I just felt it was a cooking sim where you made some meal recipes. Right. I didn't feel anything for it, and we had
representation.
We had a South Asian person who works site who reviewed it. They felt a much deeper connection to it than me. They're obviously the target audience. They're obviously the person who's going to be hit the most by this. Yeah. I think that's obvious. So I wouldn't mind that because I know, in an objective sense, that seems to be the one that's had the most conversation around its impact. I haven't heard anybody talk about the impact that Terranil has had at all. Right. Anyway. But my personal pick would be Goodbye Volcano High.
Well, I got to piggyback on that just because you called out Terranil. And all I'll say, you're absolutely right, that as for a Games for Impact award, it has not made an impact. But I want to say this. I am incredibly creeped out by city builders. I enjoy the gameplay, but when you think beyond the surface of what you're doing, they upset me quite a bit. There was a trailer, I believe it was for Cities Skyline 2.
Yeah, I wrote about that trailer. We had this discussion, the violence in it.
Yes, it was the most violent thing I've ever seen in my life. If you understand what I'm saying, then you get it, and if otherwise you think I'm a crank, right? Because this is just the status quo. This is how we think about imperialism and colonization. Like we inhabit the earth and we make it our own. And Terranil is the opposite of that. And I think that it is a very thought-provoking game about de-citying. It's a reverse city builder, right? And that I was very inspiring to me. Chance of Sonar, this is the only category this game is in, so I have to give it a shout because it's fantastic. And if you like the kind, I don't know what this genre is or what it should be called, but it starts with like Oberdin is a big one. What last year's
Sable, right?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't play Sable, but I was thinking of the I'm sorry. What the murder mystery one where you fill in all the suspects?
Golden Idol.
Yes, Curse of the Golden Idol. This is much like those, like Oberdin and Curse of the Golden Idol.
No, I was thinking more of the kind of wordless games that's with.
Oh, okay. But this is that you are moving through. It's like a Tower of Babel. Every floor of the tower, they speak a different language, and you have to learn how to interpret their language by keeping careful notes and comparing symbols and finding out what word in this language means the same concept in another language. And it's so well executed. I think this game is so good. Anyone else want to go to bat here for anything?
I like Venba.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I like reiterate Stacey's point on Goodbye Volcano High. Like,
yeah,
I also had high expectations for that because it's like this queer dinosaur game about the end of the world, and I like all three of those things. But I think one of the things it does especially well is there's like this unflinching hope in the face of like nihilism, like the main character like wanting to do something with what little life they might have left, even though so many people around them are like, well, what's the point? What should we do? Why do this? Like, there's that contrast there, and I think that's like a really fascinating message for a game to have. A Space for the Unbound is also quite wonderful in how it explores like bullying and sense of self and like a sense of belonging. And then once again, I can't really see myself too much in games like Vemba or Tchia. So I guess those fall flat for me somewhat, but they are still quite wonderful games in their own right. And I haven't played Tonal or Shards of Sonata, so
Great.
I do see, like, I think that Venba is universal, even if you aren't from, a South Asian immigrant background, because it is about, like, being a child who is, like, hurting your parents' feelings by sort of rejecting where you came from. And I think a lot of us can I think a lot of us can relate to that, growing up and sort of, like, for good or for bad reasons, not wanting to do what our parents did, and then maybe growing up a little bit and being like, oh, I was kind of an asshole to my parents for no real reason. And I think Venba is sort of about that from a specific perspective, but I think that's a pretty common experience.
I think I was just the perfect child. I think.
Okay.
I was one of 9 children, so I think I didn't have that bonding experience with my parents. They kind of just gave me video games and told me to go away. They were done with parenting by the time I came along.
George, you did not play any of these games, did you?
I played Chia.
Oh.
But to be honest, I enjoyed it more for its free roaming and like animal possession abilities, and I wouldn't say that's.
It's very cutesy. Yeah.
It's. I did really enjoy it as a game and mucking around with it, but then this isn't the mucking around award, so I take a back seat here.
It's just a bit of banter colonialism, George. Come on.
Out of these, Goodbye Volcano High is the one on the list that interests me the most. It is, again, on my list. So someday I will play. And the descriptions of it now have they resonate with me, so I guess that is my vote.
Last thing I want to say, just to tip the scale, Chance of Sonar is anti-AI.
It's not. Just no.
Huh?
Yeah.
So is Mission Impossible. I still wouldn't give that.
And Mission Impossible was great,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yes, it was. It's great. It's great. I think if we are taking it literally, games for impact, Goodbye Volcano High is about a meteor striking the Earth. So
those things have a lot of
consider that.
impact. Fair.
That's right.
Please, Andrew, what is your vote?
I'm going to go with Venba, but I'm fine with Goodbye Volcano High winning.
Stacey, what's your vote?
The opposite. I'm going to go for Goodbye Volcano High, but
Jade?
A GVH, baby.
George?
Go on, Goodbye Volcano High. Why not?
Congratulations. Goodbye Volcano High. Games for impact. Literally. Innovations in accessibility. The nominees are Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. I don't have a lot of experience with the accessibility features in these games, other than that I think Street Fighter 6 did a fantastic job of making approachable controls. I don't think that's necessarily the same as accessibility features.
Yeah.
But I liked that a non-fighting Game Boy, could do all the cool Street Fighter things for once.
Yeah, I'm annoyed you've said that, Eric, because this was my chance to come out and say something smart for once, but that was going to be my point, basically.
Sorry,
so Street Fighter for me.
Forza has a mode you can play if you're blind. Forza's got to win this one.
Wow.
Yeah, they made a big deal out of like showcasing a lot of the accessibility stuff they were doing ahead of release too.
Yeah.
And even as someone who wouldn't benefit exactly from those, it was reassuring to know a game or a genre that is normally like quite impenetrable would be accessible. But then you've got Spider-Man, which is it builds on a lot of the work that Sony's been doing within its first party.
Spider-Man's missing some stuff though. There's some stuff in Spider-Man that should be there. They said they're going to bring an update after the new year.
Coming back on myself to say that Forza still deserves it.
It is great that this is a category and that the accessibility features are becoming more standard in big games. It really was not that long ago that a game like Diablo 4 wouldn't have had any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's being nominated for what it's doing. So I wish that we had someone that could speak to this more, and that I had more experience with the accessibility stuff. I'm happy to give the award to Forza here.
It's probably worth noting as well, as people watching this, in the real jury, they have a specific accessibility panel. It's not just all the 100 sites who vote for it, just kind of voting for Spider-Man because it's the most famous game. They have a specific accessibility panel. So I think Forza won this in 2021, whenever Horizon was out. 2021 it would have been. So they have previous in this. I know Motorsport and Horizon are different games, but the cars made by Xbox, like, only so different.
Hi-Fi Rush must be pretty accessible for low vision players too, right? Because it's so rhythm focused.
Yeah, but you can also, in a sense as well, to support it, you can ignore the rhythm stuff almost entirely. Like if you're like me and have no sense of beat, I still got through it pretty well.
I'm really quite surprised Spider-Man's. I don't know who would take his place, but if Hi-Fi Rush does have a lot of stuff, then I think Hi-Fi Rush probably deserves a place here.
Okay.
Forza, I'm happy with Forza. Yeah, Street Fighter was very much like the modern controls are great and they do allow a lot of players to play, but like I don't know if I'd call that accessibility in the same way with the others. So
yeah,
sure,
agree.
A good choice.
Moving on to best performance. Contentious category.
Yeah.
Our nominees are Ben Starr for Final Fantasy 16. Is he Clive?
Clive, yeah.
Yes.
Clive Rossfield.
Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, George's best friend. Idris Elba for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Melanie Liebert for Alan Wake 2. She plays Saga.
Yes.
Yep.
And Idris plays Solomon Reed.
Solomon Reed, yes. I thought he played himself. Neil Newbin.
Might as well be.
Who does he play?
Asterion.
Asterion. And Yuri Lowenthal for Marvel Spider-Man 2. He plays Peter Parker.
Spider-Man.
Well, he doesn't play Spider-Man, okay? He plays Peter Parker. There's two Spider-Man.
One of the...
This category could have easily been just 6 actors from Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah.
I don't particularly like this Peter Parker.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the running for this.
Just to really stick the knife in, the Peter Parker in Midnight Suns is better, right?
Yes, but that's
The
him.
Midnight Suns Peter should be here.
But that's still him, yeah. But yeah, he should be nominated for that. Yeah, you're totally right. And he's George, as we've decided.
Oh god.
Yes, Midnight Suns Peter Parker is very similar to George.
Yeah. I thought that Cameron Monaghan did a way better job in Survivor than Fallen Order. That could come down to the writing.
Still not great, though. I don't know. He's
I
very
would say
monotone.
I would say he's great in it, but I wouldn't say he stands up to the others as attractive as he is.
Yeah.
My vote here is Ben Starr for Clive Rossfield, because not only he is amazing at portraying that character and like both the anguish that he feels for Joshua. I'm holding back a Joshua scream, but
No, you're not. You just don't want.
well, I just did it, I guess. But in the way that Ben Starr has also supported Final Fantasy 16 after, I know that's not necessarily it, but like,
I think he's good in the game. I don't think that should count.
I go Neil Newbon. I think Asterion is probably my favorite of the companions of the game.
Asterion is going to be like an all-timer character, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that cast will be, especially as
Yeah, you wouldn't make my top 3, mind.
Yeah,
Or
I
either performance or
either.
character. But I love Baldur's Gate. I'm not against him winning. I'd be voting for Neil Newbon here as a representation because I think it should be Devorah Wild. And I don't think that's necessarily a fair way for me to do it, but it's how I'm going to do it. I think Devorah Wild for Lizelle should be here. She's not my favorite character in the game. I think she definitely has the best performance. But Neil Newbon's good. And that's kind of how I stand on it.
Idris Elba should not be in this category. Like his performance
No.
is okay.
I was not impressed with Idris.
It's
Yeah.
a pretty phoned-in performance, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like you can hear his accent coming through, but Keanu does a better job in Phantom Liberty than Idris Elba does.
I really
think.
liked Songbird as well, actually. If it wasn't for the fame, I feel like Songbird could have been here, right?
They were the strongest character in that expansion easily. Like they had a really compelling arc. Like so did Solomon Reed, but I don't think Idris's performance sold it as well as it could have.
I think if you play the different endings, Solomon Reed is the same character all the way through, whereas Songbird changes so much.
I agree, yeah. Because I went back and did both. Because when I was talking to you about it, I went, "What choice did you do?" And I was at the first Songbird choice, not the second one.
Yeah, because
So
I
was
tried the little bit ending, and you were like, "No, I'm not that far yet."
But I totally agree. But again, like Neil Newborn and Asarian are not my favorite characters in Baldur's Gate 3, but I do agree that even if voting for him is a proxy for representing all of the excellent like acting talent in that game, it might be worthwhile. But at the same time, Ben Starr is quite good as Clive.
We need to vote.
Yeah, we do need to vote.
Neil Newborn, that is me.
Neil.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a Newborn as well.
3 Neils. George?
Ben Starr.
Oh,
There
George
we-
said Ben Starr. I thought for sure he would say Cameron. I'm going to vote for Melanie because my vote doesn't matter. Congratulations, Neil Newbin.
He's got it in the bag, I think, on the night.
He won at the joysticks as well.
Boy, we sure have a lot of categories left. Best Audio Design is the next one. Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4. This is in-game audio and sound design.
George, how are
Like, this is what I said earlier. Hi-Fi has a few that are just clear straight away, and audio is everything to that game, and part of why it works so well. I don't think anything else.
Yeah, considering score is a separate category, I am also going to vote for Hi-Fi here.
Yeah, I'm with Hi-Fi here.
Hi-Fi easy.
Let's go Hi-Fi. Yeah, Hi-Fi.
Yep. Definitely Hi-Fi.
Let's
Speed
go.
run, baby.
So, boy, Alan Wake and Dead Space have some atmosphere to them. Boy,
Oh,
oh boy.
100%.
It's tremendous.
They can win Best Atmosphere.
Yeah, well, that's audio design, though. But that's audio design. Okay. Okay. Best score and music. Alan Wake 2. Composer Petri Alanko. Baldur's Gate 3. Composer... Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Borislav
Borislav
Slavov.
Slavov. Final Fantasy 16. Composer Masayoshi
Masayoshi
Soken.
Soken.
I'm so bad at this. Hi-Fi Rush. Audio director Suichi Kobori. And The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Composed by Nintendo Sound Team.
Oh, that's a hard one to pronounce.
That's an awful credit.
That is a really awful credit.
Oh my god. Just the whole team helped out.
Yeah.
These are all really good picks. My second place would be Final Fantasy 16. I think it has a fantastic soundtrack. But first, you know what I'm going to vote for. Hi-Fi Rush. Not only does it have great use of licensed songs, but the fact that every single one of them has a original song that keeps the same beat for gameplay reasons that sounds just as good.
I feel like the same beat comes into audio design. I was only a team for that. I don't think it should win.
Well, I'm still voting
This-
for it.
I-
I love it.
This is Alan Wake by 1,000 billion miles.
See, I really think it's Baldur's Gate, you know.
Oh, boy.
The Cazador battle alone. I know
Oh,
the bit you
no.
mean in Baldur's Gate, in Alan Wake. I have best level. It's my nominee for best level if we get to that. But the Cazador fight in Baldur's Gate, the score for that, the way I think the music builds as well throughout the whole thing. I think the music is used to tell a story, which is also why I've got Final Fantasy as one of my nominees. I think it really narrates the game so well in Baldur's Gate, which I would like to see count for something. I don't know if it will when the Real Game Awards run. I think it might just be, this is my favourite game and it has music in it. And I know I'm voting for Baldur's Gate, which is my favourite game, but I do think the way it builds to the kind of narrative it wants to tell in each scene.
Well,
I
I'd
really
say
love.
Zelda and Final Fantasy and Alan Wake do that too.
Yeah. If you're describing music
But
that
I-
tells the story, that's
But
Alan Wake.
I think Baldur's Gate is more effective at it. Hi-Fi Rush is not that. Hi-Fi Rush is just a drum beat.
I wouldn't say that at all. The scene at Hi-Fi Rush with Whirring, where it tells what's happening to the characters as they overcome like their greatest obstacles. That's one of the best moments in the game, and for
This is,
English shit.
the hands are out for this one. Goodness me.
Yeah, I didn't know that this would be the one we all come to blows on.
Yeah.
There's like 4 here that deserve to win. Like they all deserve to win.
They're
here,
all
but
very, very good. Even Zelda is very, very good, and I wish
Zelda's
that
soundtrack is fucking incredible.
I think Zelda had more of a shot at audio design, though. I haven't played enough of it. No, I'm gonna actually say I haven't played enough of Zelda to count it out to know when the score comes into it. I feel like the bits I've played is audio design more than the score.
Yeah, and I know Final Fantasy's big moment had.
Final Fantasy's second on my list.
There are music moments in 16 that made me cry. Like that game goes hard, but so does Baldur's Gate. Fuck.
Well, we found what the gamers are passionate about.
Andrew, you've been very quiet during this section.
I really like Baldur's Gate's music, but I feel like I'm only remembering one song from it that it uses over and over in a bunch of different ways, which I think is like a knock. Yeah, it's like a knock against it, but it's also like a good thing about it is that it recontextualizes that over and over to be like battle music or like soft like folk music that like a bard is singing to you, or like peaceful music when you're in camp. Like they use Down by the River over and over in like varying ways that I think are cool. But I'd be happy to see most of them win. I think Hi-Fi Rush is most music. I don't know if it's like best music, but it is like the one where I noticed the music the most. So
I think Hi-Fi Rush win would be like giving best original screenplay to the most original screenplay. That's not how it works.
Right.
I think Hi-Fi Rush is most music.
It's almost one of those categories where it's not fair to compare because these games are doing such different things.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna spoil a little bit ahead. I think the way Alan Wake is directed overall, the way it uses sound cues is so important.
Yeah.
I think it probably has the lead on Baldur's Gate in that category. Spoilers for my vote's going to be. But I think for score overall, for the sound, both in isolation and in context, I'm going to keep saying the Cazador fight until somebody says that music's great. The Cazador fight just has such great music. I can't
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't gotten there. Sorry. But Chapter 3 or Return 3, We Sing, wins.
We Sing's great. We Sing's great.
We got to vote. Andrew.
Baldur's Gate.
Stacey.
Baldur's as well.
Jade.
Oh, fuck. You to go first.
George.
Hi-Fi.
I vote for Alan Wake.
Fuck. Okay.
Hi-Fi, Jade. Come on.
Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
Congratulations, Baldur's Gate.
I can't get anywhere with Zelda.
The
So.
first category that the gamer's gotten wrong. Best art direction. Best art direction. Our choices are Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. My brain automatically counts Tears of the Kingdom out, which unfortunately is purely
bollocks.
reasons. I think that game is ugly.
No, I disagree. Yeah, because you play on PC at like a million resolution all the time.
Oh, because I've seen what good games look like. That's your argument?
Art direction, not fucking frame rate and resolution.
The art direction of Tears of the Kingdom is compensating for the fact that they can't make good-looking pictures.
No, it's the Switch's fault, mate.
I do think Zelda has got good art direction, but what I do think is a mark against it is it's an evolution on Breath of the Wild.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah,
a bit fresher.
I agree with that.
So this one is Hi-Fi Rush, all right? So let's just move on. Hi-Fi Rush.
Is it though?
Despite not really liking it, I also do have Hi-Fi Rush as my first choice. I think it looks very funky.
Okay.
It's one of the most. It has some of the most character in a game from its animation I've ever seen.
It feels like you've taken a Persona 5 menu and made it a game.
Yeah, that's it. Mario doesn't go far enough at all with its art direction.
I agree.
I think Wonder would actually be my second choice.
Mario's also my second choice, just because I really, really hate New Mario. Which is the old Mario. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, the old Mario was called New Mario. This New Mario is not New Mario.
No.
I wanna point out, just to dunk on Jade's point, this category is outstanding creative and or technical achievement.
How did they get that on Switch, Eric?
This is why I suggested technical achievement category. I don't think it belongs here.
Yeah.
I suggested visual style and technical achievement because I think art direction is a difficult category to quantify.
It is.
To that point, I will say the fact that Hi-Fi Rush has everything lining up with the beat.
Yeah,
Like
it's really
visually, the fact that everything is moving
Yeah,
with
no,
the beat and
yeah.
informing you of what you're supposed to be doing.
that game runs at
It's
60.
Yeah, 100%.
Visual set.
It's my pick.
Until I played, spoilers, Avatar, Alan Wake 2 was the best looking game of this year. So on a technical achievement standpoint, I want to acknowledge that as well. But we will vote, and it sounds like everybody's voting for Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going for Hi-Fi. Don't like it, particularly, not as much as George, certainly, but I'm going for Hi-Fi.
Alan Wake 2 would be my runner-up, though, because Alan Wake 2 is like... It is like a very good-looking game graphically, but it also is very well art-directed. It is a very cohesive and like original look.
Best narrative. I didn't realize I'd be arguing for the same game for 3 categories in a row, but here we are. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Baldur's Gate, baby.
3 of these games not even close, in my opinion.
Yeah, why? Sorry, like I like Spider-Man. Why is it here?
Nope.
That third act story flies off a cliff. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Play some indie games, jury.
Yeah, I totally agree. Final Fantasy 16 really falls apart.
It's got great characters. It doesn't have a great story.
Right. Just can't keep
Got
together.
a Geordie in it, so it's canny.
Yeah. This is a 2-horse race between Alan Wake and Baldur's Gate, right? But Baldur's Gate is so much the story that you tell yourself, and therefore Alan Wake 2 has the most outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game this year. Agreed?
I don't need convincing. I'm on Alan Wake's side first. I think it has the best story of the year.
I think it's a bit wanky at times, but I think
It is a big wank on
It
purpose.
knows it's wanky, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it knows it is. That's fine. I vote for Mike.
I'm with Baldur's Gate 3 here, but I'm not going to complain.
I think we're giving this to Alan Wake. Thank you, everyone, for agreeing with me. For once.
I think we would all agree that Alan Wake and Baldur's Gate 3 are the top 2.
Yes.
Yeah, easy. I loved some stuff in Phantom Liberty, but all in all, no, it's not on the same level.
Phantom Liberty has best ending maybe of any game I played this year. Like it's the ending that it adds to the main Cyberpunk campaign is pretty incredible, at least the one I got. But overall, I don't think that story is anywhere near as good as Baldur's Gate 3.
That should have been a made-up category, best ending.
Speaking of, before we get into our final stretch, Andrew, hit us with your made-up category.
All right, I've got a few, but I'm going to go with the fast one, if that's all right with you all.
Yes.
All right. My made-up category is Best Baldur's Gate 3 Act. Your choices are Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3.
I haven't finished Act 3 yet.
I'm in Act 1, so Act 1 it is.
For Act 3, because I'm the one who's there.
Yeah, I'm in Act 3 now, too. I'm pretty deep into Act 3, and I'm going to go with Act 3.
I finished the game once, and I'm replaying it into Act 3, so 3.
I've only played Act 1 twice.
I'm gonna let Free take this one.
Yep.
Congratulations, Act 3 of Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you, Andrew.
I think as long as we can all agree that Act 2 is the loser. Act 2
Oh, 100% Act 2 is the worst, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I don't know.
Okay. 3 left. Here we go. Best game direction. Alan Wake 2. Baldur's Gate 3. Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Just pick big games for this. But I mean,
Yeah.
these aren't the best directed games of the year.
This is outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
And no Slither Princess.
Yeah, I would be fine with Alan Wake 2, but Baldur's Gate 3 is my choice, but...
Let's deliberate slightly on a couple things. First of all...
Spider-Man and Mario, go away.
Spider-Man and Mario, go away, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves 3. So starting with Zelda here. Outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction. This is an incredibly innovative game, even though it's so close
I'm not
to
a Zelda
the
fan.
WoW.
This deserves to be
Yeah.
here, though. I can't remember which one. Is it Ascend? It's Ascend, isn't it? Go away, you can rise, I think. It's a dev tool. I mean, that's crazy to put that in a game and just let you play with it.
Yeah.
Like, that game should fall apart by all accounts, but it doesn't.
But it
And
doesn't.
that's
It works. It all works. You can build mech death machines that fly through the sky and drop remote robots. It's crazy. It's a crazy game.
I respect that for Tears of the Kingdom, but for me, with Alan Wake 2, the whole right mechanic and the placing light in specific directions and then having just parts of the world just appear, like, that is incredible.
Alan Wake 2 blows me away. The multimedia aspect of it, the fact that there's a full short film, like a 20-minute movie in the middle of that game, that's incredible. Like, that's an award-worthy short film. The way music is used, man, everything. Yeah, the light shifting mechanics, the story rewriting mechanics. Like, there's so much creative juice in this game. It's unbelievable.
You know, I did my picks for this a couple of weeks ago, and I had Baldur's Gate 3 as number 1, Alan Wake as number 2, and then Eric, you and I, we did that why Alan Wake should win Game of the Year video. And you did convince me to switch my picks, actually, because the point that you made was that people have been trying to make a game like Baldur's Gate for a long time. People have been trying to make Dungeons and Dragons, but in the virtual realm, for a very, very long time. Baldur's Gate's just the best game at doing it. Alan Wake does feel like a game that hasn't really happened before, and that is going to influence a lot more games. And I think that, for me, that's the kicker that gets it over the line as to why Alan Wake 2 deserves Best Director. I think this is a difficult category for some people to quantify. I don't think, despite them being big media conglomerates, there's a lot of crossover between hardcore gamers and cinephiles. I think they're quite separate. Why the comparison to the Oscars always annoys me. Mm-hmm. So I think the idea of what direction means can get lost on people. But I think the strides that Alan Wake takes to build its world in a way that feels very organic, in a way that feels like you can experience it in a variety of different ways, with being able to jump between the stories at different points. It just feels so well crafted. It's not just about a game that looks good or a game that tells a good story. It's about the craft of storytelling and the way it doles out its information. Is as much as the technical stuff, like changing the lights and the mechanics and the actual game. I don't like playing a saga looking for fuses, but the actual, experiencing of the game has a lot of scares to it. And I think it's more than that. I think it's the way it really elevates the craft of how you can communicate information within a video game that makes this one, for me, just a standout in this category alone.
Oh, it's so good.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, yeah, that was your point. I was repeating back to you. Of course, you agree.
Yep, I agree with me.
Yeah, it's Alan Wake, I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Awesome. Congratulations, Alan Wake, for Best Direction. Now, before we get to the finale here, one category that we skipped is the most anticipated game. Now, I think I speak for all of us that we're not a huge fan of this category.
No, I abstain on moral grounds.
Yeah, but, we can talk about our most anticipated game. That's still fun.
Yeah,
I think it's just
what I have.
Stupid award category. It's a very stupid award category.
What if my most anticipated game is in this in one of the nominees?
That's okay.
It doesn't have to be these 5, but these are the nominees: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. Can everybody just tell me what your most anticipated game is?
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Ooh.
Looks like magic.
Yep. Jade?
I think it's Rebirth, I'm going to be basic.
Yeah? It's going to be great. Stacey, what's yours?
I really, really did like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Hades 1, I guess as we call it now. But I'm going to go for Hellblade. I'm really, unlike everyone else in Games Press, I'm really rooting for Xbox to do well. And everyone in the net should like me, because I love Xbox.
Xbox.
No, I really liked Hellblade 1, Senua's Sacrifice. I was disappointed when it got delayed. I think it's a cool idea. I want to see them do it on a big scale. It's Hellblade.
Andrew?
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
That's quite a wild card.
Yes, well, it's been my answer to this category for 4 years, probably, so I'm just hoping it actually comes out this year. I don't care if it's good, I don't care if it's bad. I just want it to come out. And in that way, it's my most anticipated game. I just need it to come out so I can get on with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be really good. It just is like, I'm sort of holding my breath to see what it ends up being.
Well, along the same lines, I'll be the eternal optimist and say Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh, next year it's the one, baby.
Good luck.
I can see it.
Surely a reveal at the Game Awards. Surely.
Yeah.
You think,
Right?
yeah.
Don't you think? Yeah. Oh boy,
I'm
do I love Hollow
immediately
Knight.
changing my guess to I think they're going to reveal a new Tomb Raider, and that's now my most anticipated game.
They're gonna shadow drop Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox.
Can I say Kingdom Hearts 4? Is that allowed?
No, you can't.
No.
No. Expunge that from the record. I don't want to associate with the gamer's name.
Okay, here we are. We've come to the end. Ours was almost as long as the actual Game Awards. Can you believe it? Game of the
This is
year.
what happens when you mention every single category and don't just skip.
Yeah, that's what happens when you make it about the awards. Game of the Year 2023 nominees: Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, all 5 of us have argued in favor of one of these games. We are missing Ree, who argued in favor of Baldur's Gate.
That's fine. I'll take Baldur's Gate anyway.
Probably where we're going to end up with. But we've all already made our case for each of these games. You should go watch those videos so that we don't have to do it here. How about that? Does anyone want to say a few words?
I went for Spider-Man because I said I'll do Baldur's Gate or Spider-Man, and no one wanted to do Spider-Man.
Right.
So I'm happy to go to Baldur's Gate and say I think it's not just the best game of the year. I think it is by far the most impressive game it's the most impressive game that I've played since Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it's on a whole. I think it's on another planet to the rest of them. There is a caveat that I don't like Zelda, and everyone else feels the same way about Zelda. But I think even as much as Spider-Man's my number 2 pick, Resident Evil's on my list as well. I also really like Mario's. As much as the other games are cool, I just think Baldur's Gate 3 is just on a complete other level. It's the kind of game that we don't get that much anymore because games take so much longer to make, as we mentioned when we talked about Best Developer. When we look back on the PS5, when the PS6 or the PS7 comes out, and we think about what games made the PS5, Baldur's Gate will be one of those games. It's just... It is going to define this generation in a way that I think a lot of games have tried. Elden Ring's in that mix, certainly, but a lot of other games have, I think, tried and failed so far. There's not been a lot of games in Gen 8 that I think really speak for what games can do these days. And Baldur's Gate is the game this year that does that.
Yeah. I was in the same situation as Stacy, where I said I will argue for Baldur's Gate 3 or Zelda, and got Zelda instead of Baldur's Gate 3. But Baldur's Gate 3 is my number 1 and Zelda's my number 2, and for similar reasons. I think I wrote an article that's going to go live today about innovation and how much it actually matters for what we consider like the best game of the year. And Baldur's Gate 3 is sort of a tricky one because I don't think it is like the most innovative game. It doesn't have a mechanic like Disco Elysium stock cabinet that you can point to and be like, wow, nobody's ever done something like that before. It's more like, we've played lots of RPGs like Baldur's Gate 3, but I've never played one that's as good or as accomplished or as expansive or as good at offering choices in every single moment as Baldur's Gate 3 is. And it's one that like appeals to me, somebody who's played a lot of RPGs, but it also, my wife has spent 70 hours playing that game and she doesn't play any RPGs, and it is the one that sort of broke through to her. And I think it has that sort of once in a generation appeal that it is for the diehard RPG fans and accessible enough, approachable enough that like people that don't play this genre can get into it. And I think that's pretty like miraculous, and that's the reason it's my game of the year.
I went for bat for Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which was
My condolences.
Which was tough. I still really love that game. I think it's super energetic, super fun. But then around about that time was when I started playing Baldur's Gate 3 properly, and yeah, I'm pretty pilled up there. I love that a lot. I think it is, even if you don't play it, I think it's impossible to ignore the impact it's had on the industry and on RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons and everything. Like, I think it's just mind blowing, the sort of impact it's had and how good it is. And like, I'm still only 20 hours in now, which is scratching the surface, but it's just Baldur's Gate 3 in it. It's fantastic.
We're all just going to do speeches on why Baldur's Gate should win.
I think Baldur's Gate 3, as much as I adore Tears of the Kingdom, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is to role-playing games and character-driven storytelling that Breath of the Wild was to open-world games and experimentation. I think it's that next generational leap in a lot of ways. Because I think, as we said before, we get a lot of games like Baldur's Gate 3 before. Like Divinity Original Sin is a very similar game, but I think through like innovation and experimentation, Larian has been able to like bottle up this formula that appeals to everyone, but it really shouldn't at the same time. And I think that's what makes it so special, and how it makes it look easy and effortless, and why people are playing it again and again and again. And like the characters are taking on cultures of their own outside of the game, which is something that rarely ever happens, but only with the media that speaks to people the most. And I adore Alan Wake. That's probably my number 3, followed by Zelda and then Baldur's Gate and Resi. And yeah, like this category is stacked, but when I look back on this year, it will be like, oh, that was when Baldur's Gate 3 changed like the way we perceive and what video games are capable of in a lot of ways.
Wow. 4 strong arguments for Baldur's Gate 3.
Alan Wake's pretty scary, though.
Alan Wake 2 is tremendous. I think that's the modern day Resi 4 in terms of like atmosphere and horror. People are going to be looking back on that and iterating upon it like they're iterating on Baldur's Gate 3, whereas like Spider-Man and Resi 4 are like amazing, but like things we've seen in similar ways before.
Yeah. I'm surprised that over this entire thing how little credit we have given Tears of the Kingdom. I know it's not Stacey's favorite.
It's incredible, but I got bullied for liking it, so
but maybe Stacey's right and we actually don't like it as much as we think we do.
Oh, I do.
I did really like it, but Breath of the Wild for me was like a landmark moment in like, this is such a special game. And then Tears of the Kingdom, for whatever reason, maybe I didn't like the building as much, maybe I didn't enjoy the world as much, like it just didn't impact me as much. Like I still think it's a fantastic game, but it just didn't hit the same notes for me. So that's on a personal level. I understand if it won, I would be like, yeah, fair, but for me it's still Breath of the Wild, the favourite for me.
Did it win any categories, Eric?
Nope.
Oof.
Wow.
No. Yeah, I'm sort of like George in that I have a personal bias in that I think it doesn't look very good. and it bothers me when I play it. When I play it, it bothers me that it doesn't look better.
And Spider-Man's better than Zelda as well. We all also decided that.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Boy, Zelda's good, but just not good enough. Congratulations, Baldur's Gate 3, the gamer's choice for the Game Awards Game of the Year game. That'll do it. Any final words for the Game Awards?
Hi-Fi Rush was robbed. Game of the Year.
It won 2, George.
It should have won them all, Eric. That's why I'm here. I'm storming the stage, as the Game Awards is known for. Hi-Fi Rush sweep. Let's go. Get it trending.
So you're the stage invader this year.
The Game Awards will air this coming Thursday evening, where we'll find out how correct the gamer was in our choices. I feel like we got a thumb, we got a finger, we get whatever the expression is. We got that.
Finger on the pulse.
Yeah, we got that.
Thumb in the pie.
Finger in the pie.
I feel like we're going to be off the mark in a lot of these, if I'm honest.
Yeah, maybe.
I just feel like majority rule is going to win. The big games are going to win.
The big games are going to win. But that's not why we're there. We're there for the trailers, baby.
That's right.
We are.
The awards
YouTuber.
Thank you so much for watching. You can see all of our Game of the Year videos linked down in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and visit us at thegamer.com. That's The Gamer. No space.